Good evening, guys. Happy Friday to you all. It's the weekend. Not that it makes that much difference at the moment. Every day seems like the same day at the moment. Just for me anyway. How about you guys? So, thanks to everyone who's in the chat standing by tonight. Well, I say tonight. It is tonight, but we're not on real live time just because it is a test flight still for FlyByWire. It's testing out some of this coding that they've removed. They've done a few more updates to that, so just checking. See if that works. So we're actually early morning here at Leipzig, and going to be leaving shortly for East Midlands in the UK. Nick, you've got a bit of an echo, have you? How strange. Not entirely sure why that's happening. Bear with me. Don't know if that will have made any difference. So if you have got an echo, I do apologise for that. I'm not sure what is occurring there. Okay, let's tell you what, I'm going to get rid of the timer. Let's crack on, shall we? Delete that. There we go. Let's get into the aircraft and start setting ourselves up for this flight. So we are not on VATSIM, we are not on any servers just because it is a test flight. We want everything to hopefully go smooth, and if it doesn't go smooth, we well, we want to be able to land safely in the daylight, if nothing else. Okay, so let's get the batteries on. And do we have any ground power units available here at Leipzig? Let's see. Leipzig ground. Send a power supply, please. And then we can start getting our DHL executives online on the aircraft. There we go. Coffee on this flight, too early for beer. Well, it's 5 PM somewhere in the world, right, Darkside? And there's our external power. Wonderful. Do we have any ramp? We have a ramp connection there as well. We'll sort that out in a minute. Okay, so let's get rid of all these white lights, go through the flows and start getting our ideas aligned. Ideas on battery. We've got the external power. There we go. Just checking that was coming in. Oh, Nick, you had the sound on Discord and YouTube. Yeah, that's not going to help you, is it? Good to know there's 2-second delay between the two, however. Okay, let's get the passenger signs on as well. And we can now start to get our DHL staff on board. This is a fictional livery, of course. DHL do not fly the Airbus A320neo. As a cargo variant. Is there a cargo variant of the A320neo? Not to my knowledge. There may well be. There may well be, but not that I am familiar with. Marvin Haynes, hello, good evening. Thanks for joining us. So let's... Where are our passengers? Come on, stewardess. Or stewards. Cabin crew. We have to be multifunctional, don't we? Okie dokie. So. There we go. My self-loading cargo. Just having a bit of a minute. Start the flight.
Cabin crew, we can open the doors now and start letting them on board. Thanks very much.
Okay, no problem.
So, cabin crew opening the doors. Passengers should start to be boarding in a moment. There we go, we can hear them. Fighting with the door as per usual. Yeah, that always happens. Fire test engine 1. Fire test engine 2. And we can get the APU started as well. Oh wow, that's loud. That's very loud. I don't want to hear them that loud in the headphones. Okay, so just going through the cockpit preparation here, making sure that everything's set up. Don't need any probe window heat on the ground. We're absolutely fine with that. Pack flows is required. Batteries are Okay, engine fire test is done. Let's move down now to the center instrument panel. Let's get a little bit of brightness on here. If we have a look at the time, we're actually 6:56 a.m. Zulu time. Carol Jumper, no, you're quite right. It does not like stairs. It works fine with the jetways. Does not like stairs one little bit. Anti-skid is on. Let's have a look at the pedestal. So, cockpit door is still open, which is why we can hear the passengers. Switchings are all normal. Thrust lever, idle, engine mode selectors, etc., etc. Transponder is on standby. Let's have a look at the glare shield. Let's turn up some lights, make sure we can see everything that's happening. And let me grab you the briefing for today's flight. That way you can follow it through if you want the operational flight plan. Random fan, I'm good, thank you. All set for a nice relaxing weekend. That's a lie, no weekend is relaxing in our house. Magnus, I learned something from a VATSIM controller at ESGG. Oh, remind me which airport that is. I'm useless with airport codes that I don't visit very often. Is that Stockholm? Slap me if I'm wrong. There's the operational flight plan. There you go. So hopefully you can follow that along. And if we just grab the META for you as well. XE Flight Sim, hello. Good of you to join us. Here is the META. Where's the META? META. So you know what's happening. There you go. So we have got QNH 1025. Let's get that plugged in. 1025. There we go. And flight directors can come on. Flight control unit is now set as well. Am I online for flight sim? No, I'm not actually. I'm literally on my own. Otherwise, of course, we'd probably be doing a community flight. We do need to get one of those sorted out. Yeah. It's been a couple of weeks since we had one of those, so shouldn't be too long before the next community flight. Get yourself into the Discord server. That's where we announce those. Right, the instrument panel. Let's turn up some of these screens so we can see what's happening. See the ECAMs. Oh, I've turned that one off. Self-test. That'll be back on in 40 seconds or so. Primary flight display, navigation display, ECAM status, MIS alignment is in 4 minutes time. Okay, let's come down then to our flight management guidance system. Magnus, thank you very, very much for your donation. We haven't even set off yet. That's amazing. Thank you. Gothenburg. We're going to have to do one of these flights to Gothenburg, aren't we? Although, if I'm doing a test flight, I'm not normally on VATSIM. We'll have to get the Easyjet aircraft in at Gothenburg. Promise we will. Join the Discord server, Magnus. Let me make yourself known to me.
Hi, Captain. All passengers are on board
And
doors are closed.
we'll arrange to fly in. Okay, so let's clear the scratch pad. Oh, cleared it twice. Let's bring in the SimBrief flight plan. XT, quick question. Why do your lights look so good and real on landing? Is there a setting? Absolutely no idea. Do you mean the actual simulator? I promise that's nothing to do with me. That's the simulator. Wonderful. So there's our flight. DHL 512. 1 hour 35 minutes is the estimated time en route. So performance, weight and balance. Let's load our fuel. And let's check that is correct. Actually, I've loaded it. I didn't even check that was correct. I'm sure it is. SimBrief is very good. 4533, that is all correct, so we do have that loaded. And passengers, it actually says we've got 0 passengers. Ignore that, that's my mistake in setting up. We have got a few passengers, as you can hear them chatting behind us, with the payload of 19700, so we can get that loaded as well. Zero fuel weight 60.7. That is absolutely bang on. Guys, check out the operational flight plan for that. We've got zero fuel weight 60.7. The operational flight plan is bang on 60.7. Ooh, I do like it when things like that happen. Okay, our gross current weight is 65.1 tons. Takeoff weight about 65 tons. So that works out very, very nice. East Midlands, good evening. Great to be on board. You're still working. Oh, that sucks for a Friday evening. Leonard Weber, hello, my friend. Great stuff. So with all that loaded, let's get to the init page. So init request. Get that pulled up. Not in database. Scrap that. Clear, clear. Init request again. There we go. So the alternate for today is Manchester. Echo Golf. Charlie, Charlie. Airway mismatch. That flashed up for a second there. Not seen that before. I've heard people mention that though. So yeah. So XD Flight Sim, they look much more detailed than yours. I have no idea, unless it is a general settings thing. I'm not sure. Check out the latest video that I uploaded regarding my actual settings and took you through each one. So see if they match up or obviously are better for yours. Cost index of 5. Cruise level is 380 minus 64. Let's change that, shall we? 380 minus 64. There we go. So that looks good. That's init A. Let's check the flight plan. Alright, so today the flight plan, we will be departing runway 26 left. Nice long runway. Via the Odlun 5 Sierra. Let's just go down here. Odlun 5 Sierra. There it is. And we'll get that inserted. And our arrival at East Midlands is the ILS for runway 27, and we don't actually have any stars, so we can clear the stars. We could also, if possible, clear the veers, but that's never going to work. We know that clearing veers does not work in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, so we will just vector ourselves in. The flight today, XT, 1 hour 35 minutes to be exact. Oh, Alexander Galfano, it's Friday night. Take a break, my friend. Not the place for philosophy, this chat room, or this flight deck. Grab yourself a parachute and out you go. Alright, so that is the flight plan all set. Let's check the RadNav pages. So, what I need to pop in the RadNav here, for anyone that has the charts, we can pop in the Lima Delta. VOR, Lima Delta, and we'll go through that as to why we're plugging that in just a moment. In fact, I popped the wrong one in. I want Lima November Delta. Silly me. Lima November Delta VOR. Let's pop that in there. There's the one, 2 nautical miles away. Beautiful. So that's the RadNav page set. Let's go to our Init B page. Alexander, we don't want singing either. I work as a musician in real life, my friend. I do not want to hear singing in the chat room. So, zero fuel weight. Where's the zero fuel weight gone? Zero fuel weight was spot on of 60.7, 60.7. And standard center of gravity 30.0. So, planning block fuel is suggesting 4.5. We are taking 4.5. Right, guys, I am checking something here because I have actually used a fuel performance factor of minus 25. I've gone above and beyond because we know the fuel burn is a little bit inaccurate. So our block fuel and our planned block fuel actually matches up there. So let's confirm the block. 4.5. Takeoff weight 65 tons. That's spot on. Landing weight will be calculated in a moment. Right, it's actually suggesting our landing weight is 61.9. We've got a landing weight of 62.1. So a slight discrepancy there. However, let's pop the headwind in, which is H21. That may just alter things a little bit once computed. So it's saying we should actually land with a ton of fuel on board. We'll see what happens. That's a little bit low, actually. That's below the recommended amount, actually. But I don't think for 1 minute we're going to land with 1 ton of fuel on board. There's going to be plenty more. Magnus, we're not on VATSIM, my friend, so that's why we're not on VATSIM, just because this is a test flight. If anything goes wrong, I don't want to annoy them. Not on a Friday night, they're usually rather busy. So Init B is completed. Let's go out to our takeoff performance page. So it will be a flaps 1 takeoff, and it is flex temp of 67. Transition altitude here, I believe, is it 6,000? Let me just double check that once that chart loads. 5,000 feet. There we go. So with all that punched in, let's calculate these V speeds. V2 137, 133, and 132 for V1. That is all set up. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to quickly scroll through this flight plan. Now the ideas are aligned. We can also start getting some bleed air into the cabin, because our DHL staff and executives is going to be cold. I don't want to get sacked. There we go. Right, let's check this flight plan then, guys. Make sure it all looks as we would expect. So, take off and then a turn to the right. Oh, hang on. Let's pop that in plan mode. It works better. There we go. Let's have another look. That looks good. Northeast and then across the North Sea Channel and then up and into what looks like a very strange approach into East Midlands. We will most certainly be vectoring ourselves in for that when the time comes. Alright, other than that, that's absolutely fine. It's back into arc mode. Alright, let's just quickly run the before start checklist. So engine masters off, engine mode selector normal, weather radar is off, landing gear is down, both wipers are off. APU now on and available with APU bleed running. Cockpit lights set, we can actually turn this up as well, just got a bit of brightness there. Dome lights are also currently on, and oil pressure, flaps, lever is up, parking brake retracted and disarmed, AccuBrake pressure is in the green. Okay, so with that, let's welcome everyone on board, close the flight deck door, and we shall also do our departure briefing before we move.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello from Flight Deck. My name is Gavin and I'm your captain today, and I'd like to welcome you on board the A320 DHL aircraft. We're not expecting any delays, we're going to get pushing back pretty soon. The guys on the ground have just popped the last of the luggage away, so if you can assist the cabin crew in getting yourself sat down, seatbelts on, everything fastened, and giving your full attention throughout the safety briefing, and we'll get going as soon as possible. Once again, thank you for choosing Easyjet, and we'll be choosing the flight today. Cabin crew, we're all ready to go, so please arm the doors and cross-check. Thank you.
Okay, so quick departure briefing then. So it's going to be, ordinarily we would actually push back, however with no one else here we can just go straight forward. We will be turning, although we'll do it properly, we'll push back, otherwise we're going to run our wing over the stairs there, aren't we? So we're going to push back, and then it will be a taxi out to runway 26 left via taxiway, it's either Tango or Victor, Victor I believe. So taxiway Victor, take off from runway 26. The weather is absolutely fine. You've already seen the METAR. I've given you that. Nothing to concern us with there. Aircraft is all fine as far as we are aware. No note times to note. Threats to look at. So the minimum safe altitude on departure is 2,700 feet. If anything happens, we need to maintain that altitude or higher, or we could be in trouble. Upon departure, we are using the Odland 5 Sierra departure. After takeoff, it is a right-hand turn after passing 1,300 feet, not before. and 3 miles from the Lima Lima Delta VOR, which is why if we now turn this on, we pop that in there. So there's the Lima Lima Delta VOR. We're currently 1.6 miles away. We need to be 3 miles away before starting that right hand turn, and very important, we don't want to make that turn any faster than 210 knots. So let's get that set. 210 knots. Once we have made that right hand turn, we can then look to go to manage speed and increase up to 250 knots. If anything happens and we should need to return to the airfield, there's nothing wrong with returning to the airfield. We're well below the maximum landing weight, and we've got a nice long runway as well. No weather problems to worry about if we have to return here. So with all that, there's the departure briefing. Everything's good there, so we could request our pushback clearance and switch on the rotating beacon light. Transponder is now on auto, and parking brakes on, thrust levers idle. Let's start pushing back, and we will then begin engine number 1. So let's just call trusty pushback helper. Here we go, and get this activated. Do we have a real tug today? Yes, we do. We have a real tug today. XT Flight 7, that's correct, 7,000 feet. That is not our cruise, that is our initial climb clearance on this particular SID. So in the real world, we wouldn't pass 7,000 feet unless being given further clearance by air traffic control. Okay, so, oh, look at that. That's, I've not seen, there we go. Nose wheel steering disc inserted. The pins there. Release the parking brake. I've not seen that before. Is that new? Has anybody else noticed that one getting pushed back? That's what we're checking for, so that's good. So the before start checklist. Cockpit preparation is complete. Our signs are on, the ideas are aligned, fuel quantity is loaded and balanced. Flight management guidance system all set. Altimeter is also set and cross-checked. Christopher, has that been there for a while? Why have I never noticed it? Clearly I have been concentrating on other things. Haha, but that's good stuff. Okay, so that's the before start checklist. And finally then, windows and doors. Windows and doors all set. We're taking beacon lights is on, mobile phones off, parking brake was off until we started getting pushed back, so now we can go ahead, starting engine number 1. Mode selector to ignition, starting engine 1.
On behalf of the crew, I ask that you please direct your attention to the monitors as we review the emergency procedures. There are 6 emergency exits on the aircraft. Take a minute to locate the one closest to you and note that it may be behind you. Count the number of rows to the exit. Should the cabin experience pressure loss, stay calm and listen for instructions from the cabin crew. Oxygen masks will drop down from above your seat. Place the mask over your mouth and nose like this, and pull the strap to tighten it. If you are traveling with children, make sure you put your own mask on first before helping others. In the unlikely event of an emergency landing and evacuation, leave your carry-on luggage and items behind. Life rafts are located below your seats, and emergency lighting in the floors will
Boss
lead you to the
Colon,
closest exit.
good evening my friend.
We ask that you
I was
make sure
searching
that
for you
all
on
carry-on
Discord
luggage
last
is
night.
stored
Couldn't
safely
find
during
you.
the flight.
I will have
While
another
we
look,
wait
I
for
promise.
takeoff, please take a moment to
So
review
engine
the
number 1
safety procedures
stabilised,
on the card in the pocket in front of
starting
you.
engine 2.
Thank you for your attention, and we hope you
Farron,
enjoy the
literally,
flight.
if you go on Google and type in A320 checklists, there's loads of them about. So XT Flight Simmer, absolutely nothing is new other than the lines of coding that we were checking the other night. It's the exact same test that we're doing today, just a different flight. They want lots and lots of tests. As you can imagine, we've removed a lot of coding, unused coding, but with that comes great risk. So they want to make sure that nothing is wrong. Cloud Chaser, it is OSB, my friend, that's streaming. Yes, personally, I don't always find the waypoints of the SID and star of Navigraph in the McDo menu. You shouldn't actually be looking for waypoints, just make sure you enter the actual SID and star name. And it is true that Microsoft Flight Simulator has changed some of them. So they won't always be exactly the same as you might expect. I'll look out for that after we've after we've landed, Cloud Chaser. I'm not on Discord whilst flying. Okay guys, so let's engine number 2 is available and running stabilized. Engine mode selector to normal. We can turn off the APU bleed, we no longer need that. So APU bleed is off. What's the temperature? Okay, we do have some clouds up there, so engine anti-ice will not be on for takeoff, but we will need to take it, put it on as after we've taken off. So engine anti-ice, wing anti-ice, etc. APU is now off. Ground spoilers are armed. Rudder trim set 0. Boss colon, once again my friend, thank you very much. I promise I will find you, even if I have to search through everyone's name myself without the aid of the search function on there, which I'm still trying to get to grips with. Where was I? Rudder set, rudder trim 0 and flaps 1. Pitch trim, let's have a quick look at what our centre of gravity is. It's 3.0, so that will be flight controls. We can set that to down 2. There we go. Ecam status check, and we were clear to disconnect. And the tug's disappeared because he doesn't wait around for us to tell him that he's clear to disconnect. Let's run the after start checklist. So anti-ice is as required, ecam status checked, and pitch trims is set down at 0.2, and the rudder trim is 0. Okay, let's start to head out towards our departure runway. We can now leave the take those off. And let's start to roll, shall we? Scandi 941, good evening. Good to see you. Boss Colin is a legend, Cloud Chaser. Absolutely he is. As is every single one of the donators, to be fair to you. And all of them. Let's just hold that there. However, because the pushback was clear, we got the taxi clearance because we haven't got any ATC. However, taxi light is now on as well, which we had just forgotten to pop on. So there we go. Taxi light is now on. Let's continue our taxi out to runway 26 left. We will need to run the before takeoff checklist to the line and below the line as well in a moment. A Patriot, that is a very confusing question. So, fly-by-wire initially is a system that the aeroplane uses to control all the surfaces, not mechanically linked. They're all computer controlled. So there's no mechanical link between, say, the side stick and the elevators and spoilers, things like that. However, there is also now a group called FlyByWire, which make this A320NX mod for Flight Sim 2020. So the FlyByWire team are improving the fly-by-wire features of the Airbus A320 and Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Oh god, that's confusing. You may have to rewind that and listen to that again. Boss Colin, that is very kind of you to say. Pete, good evening. Thank you for the safe flight wishes. Good to see you. Has Captain Joe just released a video on fly-by-wire today? That is excellent. I like Captain Joe. Watched a lot of his videos over the years. Okay, so we're just taxiing now to a holding point, at which point we're going to run the before takeoff checklists. Speeding up with thruster idle, that is expected of course. Peter James, I've not, no, I've just not had any need to. We've not done any RNAV approaches or anything daft like that. Okay, so let's just set the parking brake while we check a couple more things. So, flight control check. If I can select the right SD page. Full left, full right, neutral. Full up, full down, neutral. Full rudder right, full rudder left, and neutral. So, weather radar and the PWS warning transponder can now come to on auto brake set max. We can now ding the cabin as well. There we go. TO config no blue. Pop the terrain on the display if you need that. Quick departure briefing review. So after takeoff, it is a right hand turn after passing both 1,300 feet and 3 miles from Lima November Delta. It's actually, sorry, it's 3.2 miles after Lima November Delta. A right hand turn after passing that, we can then increase the speed from 210 knots to 250 knots, and minimum safe altitude 2,700 feet. If anything happens after V1, we can return to the airfield. Alright, so before takeoff checklist, flight controls check, briefing confirmed, flaps setting config 1 is confirmed, FMA and takeoff data, and we have brakes max, climb standby, nav standby, and V speeds of V1 132, V2 137. Transponder is set, ECAM memo no blue, electronic flight bag not applicable. Cabin is secured for takeoff. Okay, we can just we may as well just actually no, we need to get a little bit closer to the airfield, to the active runway there. So we need to do a couple of more checks just before taking off. Yes, firstly, does TARA work on the radar? I believe it does, but not on VATSIM. I'm just catching up with the chat as I turning through this. Bastion, be careful! You have the you have 100 RTX 390s on board. Oh well, let's hope for a good landing and no damaged chips when we get there. I like that idea, and the fact that you can start the plane from cold and dark as well. That's great to hear as well. Alright, so final checks before we move. So let's just check the brake temperatures. 10 degrees, all good. Brake fans would be off. Takeoff, line-up clearance, let's just pretend we've got that. The approach path, no aircraft arriving, and obviously no aircraft departing. We are on our own at the moment. Let's turn on the strobe lights, let's turn on the landing lights, let's turn on the runway turn-off lights. Let's set taxi lights to takeoff. Transponder TARA, and we can now turn the packs off as well. With all that, we're good to move forward. Let's get lined up then.
Cabin crew seats for takeoff, please.
Captain Shark, you've tried the A321 mod. I've not touched that at all. I don't know whether we should do. Maybe we should start doing some sort of special flights. I know I'm A320, but to be fair, yeah, A318, 19, 20, 21. We can do all of those. They all use the same flight deck, same checklists, etc. That was the beauty, that was Airbus's dream, so pilots didn't have to become retrained. It was much cheaper for the airlines not to have to retrain. I'll catch up with the chat guys once we're airborne and autopilot's on. So if I have missed anything, I apologise. Okay, cabin secured, engine mode selector is required, TCAS, TARA, packs are off, anti-ice is off. Let's go. Start the chrono, advance to 50% N1. Side stick half down and set flex temp. Man flex, SRS and runway. 100 knots.
100 knots. Check.
V1, rotate.
DHL Bravo, Charlie Sierra 512, you were not cleared to take off.
Oh, I forgot to turn off air traffic control. I will ignore that. Our flight director's got us pitching a little lower than usual. Flaps 0. Ground spoilers disarmed. There we go. Let's pull up a little bit now, shall we? Raise the pitch. Climb thrust. So flight director was a little bit erratic there for me on takeoff. Didn't do as we normally expected to. However, it's holding the speed. We're holding everything quite nicely. We're now 3 miles away before we can begin our turn. We need to be 3.2. There is 3.2. We're well above the altitude required. So we can make that right turn now. Although we'll just continue. There it is. There's the right turn. Flicking in on the autopilot and the flight director. We need to put the packs on as well, guys. We've not got the packs on yet. I'll just get this turn completed. There we go. So we're in the turn. Get the ice on, as we said we were probably going to need to do after departure. Packs are back on. Let's turn the autopilot on. Past 5,000 feet, standard pressure, and now we've completed the turn, managed speed, and we can start to accelerate away to 250 knots. We can also continue the climb with no air traffic control around to 380. And there we go. So we'll just monitor things as we go. Autopilot is on. Is TCAS still on standby? I thought we'd put that on to TARA. Oh, that's my fault. Not that it matters because it doesn't work. Or it doesn't work when there's no other aircraft in the simulator.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may now use your electronic devices.
Okay, and passing 10,000 feet, lights can come off. Anti-ice can also come off now, there's no cloud layer above us. Release the cabin crew. They can start looking after our DHL executives. I will come back on the chat in a minute, guys, I promise. So everything seems to be looking good. We'll have a little view outside as well during the cruise. Have a look at this DHL livery that we've got today. See what our maximum altitude is for our current weight. Optimum 390, maximum recommended 390. We're going to cruise at 380, so that's all good. East Midlands, thank you very much, my friend, and for the good wishes as well. Eastbird, are you on Discord, right? Let me know if you are. Make yourself known to me. Send me a message if you are. Mr. Balio 77, yeah, we can have a look outside. Estimated time of arrival, random find, is at the top of the screen. It's a 1 hour 35 minute flight, and we are 5 minutes into it, so we're about an hour and a half. You've got me for an hour and a half as your captain. So, lots of time to chat, which is great. Liking Do Official, thank you very much for the subscription, that's great. Scandi 941, which bug was that? Let me know, and let me know what happens. Grampy Gamer, love the A320NX, but today the autopilot just kept making the plane go around in circles. Let us know, if you can, a little bit more detail. When did it make you go around in circles? Takeoff, landing, cruise? We'll get you fixed. I promise we'll get you fixed. I'm not doing anything special. I'm just flying this aircraft as it was intended, and it's all working fine, so I promise we can get you going the same. Alright, let me have a quick look outside for you. Here we go. Sunrise over Germany. Explain modal edits. Hello. Matthew Lilly. Is this mod going to behave similarly to the baseline A320, just more reliable and realistic for VATSIM? I always fly in VATSIM. No problems flying this aircraft on VATSIM. I do like the striking yellow colour. But it must cost them a fortune. White planes are much more economical than coloured planes. Did you know that? Flight Sim Simon, hello. Are you not streaming? You're not going anywhere? Scandi 941, went on VATSIM and I switched in the cockpit, the comms to nav. Oh, you did tell me about this, yeah, the comms to nav to check the ILS frequency. It changes from the frequency on VPilot. I don't know why it's doing that. I've never had that issue. I know VPilot is asking me at the moment to do an update, so there's clearly something new in VPilot, and I just haven't done it. I'm always of the opinion, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Our flights in Simon, yep, we've got our stream planned for Tuesday. So I think on Tuesday we will have a flight into Birmingham with a giveaway as well for that, so that will be great. As well as our Easyjet plane's in Iceland at the minute, so that's the planned stream for Tuesday, guys, with a chance to win a free copy of Birmingham, which has just been released. We will be flying from Iceland, Keflavik to Birmingham. Nice long flight as well. That'll be daytime, so probably about 10:30, 11 a.m. Zulu time. Gaming and tech stuff with Ace 1350. This plane is a blast to fly. Absolutely right it is. Delta Fox on Twitch, hello my friend. I've not had a problem with the ILS at all, so yeah, I agree with you, it's great. Scandi 941, I then have to rechange them back to the frequency, but then ILS doesn't show them the flight display anymore. Oh, Scandi 941, what's happening there? I've no idea. Not the best when flying in weather overcast to 300 feet. That's still Cat 1. Just, depending on where you are. Like in Do Official, we won't crash. Well, not intentionally. Presuming there are no bugs in the system, no gremlins, but that's why we're here. For those of you that don't know Flight Sim Simon, who's in the chat, he's also got a YouTube channel. He's also a QA tester for the Fly-by-Wire, so also does lots of test flights. Visit his channel and subscribe. You'll get more QA tests then as well. Yes, and of course the new electronic flight bag that is coming. Oh, I can't wait for that. Even just for streaming, that's going to be great, because I'm sat here talking about chart after chart, which is on the iPad at the moment, the tablet, and it will be great, lovely, just to be able to have a look over here and show people what it is I'm actually talking about. No problem, Simon. So still on with our cruising altitude. It is early morning, so time for some breakfast for those DHL staff and executives.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to serve breakfast. Please make sure your tray table is in the down position and clear any items from the aisle. If you would like to upgrade your meal to the premium package, please pay the cabin crew using stickers or super chats to help support the channel. Thank you.
Alright, Simon, speak to you soon. Thanks for stopping in. Delta Fox on Twitch, at the end, is it the RNAV or the ILS approach? It will be ILS. It will be ILS. Scandinavian 41, do I need to be on VATSIM to try that? Because I'm not on VATSIM at the moment, so yeah. It's not going to change any VATSIM frequency, VPilot frequency for me at the moment, as it's not linked up. However, if I do as you just suggested, hang on a sec. So we're going 131 decimal. What did you say? 121.3. Can I change it to any frequency, or does it have to be that particular one? 121.3. Oh, you would pick one, which means I've got to scroll for half an hour. 121 decimal. Da 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 da. 121 decimal 3. Swap that over. There we go. 121.3 is now active. You're not selecting any of these switches down here, VORs or ILS or anything daft. Shouldn't need to touch any of those buttons, just leave it on the VHF1 frequency. Grampy Gamer, that's Manchester to Nice. That's a Nice flight. See what I did there? Yeah, it's nice coming into Nice. Nice is a great little, great airport to come into. Although it really annoyed, well, no, it didn't annoy me, it frustrated me when the flight sim came out and everyone who was not brand new to it, or not, maybe not even brand new to it, but decided to fly into Nice, landing on runway 4 right, and then complain that the localizer wasn't aligned correctly. It's an offset localizer, guys, it's not meant to be aligned correctly. Bradley, I like the game, but you're struggling getting the FSUIPC. Do you know, a lot of people have been telling me that it's been crashing for them, or causing crash to desktops recently. Now, I have got the very first one that came out. I don't know if that was the beta version, and I've never upgraded, so I'm still on FSUIPC 7.0 and never had a problem. So if you can get hold of that original, someone posted a link to it actually. Who was that? You're not in the chat, are you? Someone posted a link to it on one of my videos, and I thought I'm going to have to grab hold of that and pop it in our Discord server, because it's going to be quite important, I think, that. Delta Fox on Twitch, have a great evening and a good weekend. See you very soon. So still climbing, still climbing. East Midlands, I think they're just there as almost backups, because that's the way they were always programmed in in older versions before advanced things like multifunctional control display units came along. You basically selected those and tuned them, but yeah, you don't really touch those now. Everything's done through the McDo. So once we get to 380, we'll have a little look at we'll do our standard cruise checks, see what's happening in East Midlands as well at the moment. Captain Wacky on Twitch, I'm off to your local airport. Yesterday, not one but two 747s departed from there. I flew over the house and didn't get to see either of them due to the weather. Standard. Darth Ducking, that's funny, in Germany it's dark. Quite right. But this morning it wasn't. And it is currently 0742 in the simulator. That's Zulu time, of course, so it's probably 0842 local time. Scandi 941, you're going for the first B of the B&B. Do you know what? Once I get to cruise altitude, I may join you. Jaden, hello! Good evening. Happy Friday. Hi, Easyjetsimpilot. Sorry you're late. No problem at all. The best bit is still to come. What plane am I flying today? It's still the Airbus A320, and it's still the pre-release build of the dev version, which has got a load of unused code in it that has been removed. So we're just checking they've not removed anything important. They want a lot of checks on this before committing it to joining the development version, as you can imagine. McDonald's. McDonald's AP, that sounds good. Oh, now I want a large chocolate milkshake. Just keeping an eye on this fuel on board. That's looking slightly concerning for another hour and a bit's flight. Estimated fuel on board at the time of arrival 0.8. That's below the minimums. Having said that, we've now reached the cruise altitude, so you can hear the engines rolling back. Let's see what happens in a few minutes' time. Darth Duck, the only reason the UK has food source shortages is because plebs go out and panic buy when there's really no need. Captain Shark 21, you are correct. There is a new FlyByWire download manager out. Looks very nice. Grumpy Gamer, I've not flown the Dreamliner yet. Flown many times in real life, but not in the sim. Want to master the A320. So, Grumpy Gamer, are you a real-life Dreamliner pilot? Or did you deduce that from that comment? If you can fly the Dreamliner, the A320 should become very natural to you. You've just got to get out of the Boeing mindset. I just find Boeing a lot more intuitive than Boeing, but that's just me. Eastbird's lead, we will find out. I did say I'm doing minus 25 for these fuel calculations. I've never gone as far as that. But we know that the aircraft runs on hot air. It doesn't burn anything. Well, Climo, I have not got the new installer. I've still got the old one, which I'm very happy with. Once again, I repeat, one of my favourite mottos: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Alright, we are now at cruise level, so let's just check what is and isn't working on the SD pages. So, engines all look good. Bleed is fine. Cabin pressure, minus 2,000 feet landing elevation. So that's fine as well. Batteries 1 and 2 are turned off, as well as generator 1, is that correct? And the APU is also on. No, it ain't. Ignore that. None of that is correct. Hydraulics not working. Fuel 3.6 ton on board, burning 27 kilograms per minute. That's accurate. Yeah, that's accurate. APU is most definitely off. Conditions there, 23, 23, 24, that's fine. Doors are closed. Good. And yeah, other than that, everything is normal. Strangely enough there, you got landing elevation for the air set to 50 feet and normal, so don't know why they disagree. That's purely a coding error. Luke, hello, we're landing at East Midlands in about an hour's time. Oh, Grumpy Kiwi, you meant as a passenger. Nope, fair enough. AP, you're right, the A380 is in the new fly-by-wire installer. I think that's what you call future-proofing it. It will be a long time yet, guys, before we get the A380, so don't think that it's around the corner just because it's in the installer. That's a nice crosswind we've got there, isn't it? Hello. Just watching this bounce around. We're now about to pass through this jet stream. Significant weather. So this is on the operational flight plan. Go to the end and it'll tell you where the jet stream is. Oh, there it is. And turbulence is expected for quite a lot of this flight. Looking at that, that is a long line of turbulence there. Between flight level 260 and flight level 380, so basically there's no escaping it. The airline executives are just going to have to do their best to keep their drinks still. Oh, Luke AP, I wish they made the A350 just for long haul flights, you know, real long haul flights. I know I do long haul flights here in the A320, but like 5-hour flights, but if we could do some proper ones. I think what I would do is I'd need to find an A350 pilot to teach me. You know I like to do things correct, that's what the whole channel is about. And I can do that with the A320, A350 not so much. I would imagine there's definitely a lot of crossovers, so it should be nice to be able to turn my hand to it. But if that ever came the day when we could do that, and potentially the A380 as well when fly-by-wire bring it, is I could sort of set off from Singapore, somewhere like that. Live streaming, of course. We could set off from Singapore and fly either to LAX or home to London and do, you know, a good 9-10 hour, well 12-hour flight, and we'd stream it all. I wouldn't be here for the entire time. I'd pop off and sleep at some point, but yeah, maybe there'll be something in that. Okay, so let's check then, as we are in the cruise, of course, the flight progress, flight times, and a fuel check. So we are 23 minutes. Let's turn VOR on off, we don't need that anymore. 23, coming up to 24 minutes flight time. So where are we? We are direct Oddville, which is now 190 miles away. So when we get to Oddville, when we get there at about 0:51, 51 minutes in, we should have 2.1 tons of fuel remaining. We'll see. Darth Duck, 12 hours with the graphics card and 100% expensive. Yes, but if I leave the doors to the room open, I won't need the heating on. Yeah, I don't think HD is going to be learning the A350 or A380 anytime soon. PT can't wait for Concorde coming. Do I know any Concorde pilots to train us? Not any real ones, sadly. What you'd have to do is get yourself to Manchester Airport. They've got the Concorde tour, and one of the guys that does it is an ex-Concorde pilot. Very, very interesting to listen to. Okay guys, so what I also want to do is, whilst we're here, we need to get some en route weathers see what's happening down below us, just in case the aircraft decides to take a nosedive or anything daft like that happens. I want to know where is going to be the best place to land. Evgeny Minosov, you're new. Wonderful. Thank you for joining. Glad to have you on board. What is QA? It's just quality assessment, quality assurance, whatever you want to call it. We're basically testing to make sure that the fly-by-wire team haven't broke anything. Haven't broke anything after removing about 1,000 lines of unused code. We hope at this stage it is unused. So, let's have a look. Airports that we need to have a look at in case anything goes wrong. Let's have a look at the weathers then for a couple of airfields. Mukdu, Atsu, AOC menu, weather request. Let's have a look at Hanover, Echo Delta Delta Victor. And we'll also have a look as well at Dortmund, Echo Delta Lima Whiskey, Echo Delta Lima Whiskey. Shame I can't add more airports in there, to be fair. So we'll get that message sent, see what the weathers are doing. Nick, have I planned Marathon Monday? Yes, I have. I know what I'm doing this Monday. It's a good one. They're all good. But I am particularly looking forward to this one. AP, tailwind to Corfu and headwind back. Yeah. But to be fair, if you've got a tailwind going one way and then you turn around and going back, you're going to have a headwind the other. Luke, do I watch football, Easyjet? Yes. Yes, I do. Although sadly I support Sheffield Wednesday, so it's probably for the best that we're not allowed in the stadium at the moment. Even though they're having a small resurgence, we get to laugh at the other football team, even though they're a league higher than us. Not for much longer. Ha ha ha. Any Blades fans in the chat room tonight? Let me check this. Messages received. Messages received. Okay, so what are we expecting when we got to... Alright, so East Midlands. 8 kilometres visibility. Few clouds at 600 feet. Scattered clouds at 900 feet. So... Oh, that is low clouds, but excuse me, that is low clouds, but we'll make that. That's okay. -1 QNH1028. So we'll keep an eye on how that changes over the course of the next hour or so. Let's have a look at Hanover and Dortmund. So Hanover is overcast, light winds, 2,500 feet. Visibility is good. Very similar there at Dortmund as well, so very little between those. That's fine, that's fine. Has the new Airbus 320 implemented at the top of the descent? No, not yet. Believe me, when that is available, you will all know, because I'll be all over it. Luke, you're a Manchester United fan. Oh, well, you know, that's not a problem. So you're praying that the Football League and the government decide to cancel the season now then, is that right? HD, here he is. Now you can all ask him if you can learn the A380 to teach me. Good evening, HD. You're not going to like the look of our colours tonight. There we go. We've gone from orange to yellow on our charter flight. Grumpy Gamer, you're right, that is worse. Captain Runway 737, do I still have issues with the plane going straight to the airport on arrival? I had that issue again today myself. Any advice? Yes, I do. My advice is, the moment it happens, pull the heading bug, get the aircraft flying straight and level again. Or not necessarily level, but straight, depending on whereabouts you are in the flight when it happens. And then you can either go direct back to the waypoint you're expecting to go to, or just fly the approach route using the heading bug. HD, I like yellow. The first car was yellow. Did it have DHL splattered down the side of it as well? Ronald Jeffers, good evening. I presume you're directing that comment at me and not HD, because he's the real world one. Darth Duck, I did know this a long time ago. You can inform us all now. Let us know what it is. I did know it a long time ago. No, but I did put a turbo sticker on it. Did it have a spoiler? Did it have a spoiler? It was a 1.0 micro. So the turbo only worked if you were pointing downhill, is that right? Oh. Fluffy clouds, guys. Fluffy clouds below us. Nothing to worry about too much. Although we do know we've got that jet stream from the north, and turbulence is predicted between 260 and 380. So it's just tough luck. We have to put up with it if we get it. That's an inverted bathtub. That may have gone faster. Ah, that's it, Darth Duck. It was the initials, wasn't it? I knew it wasn't a saying or anything daft like that. Peter James, that's right, DHL. I've got a massive warehouse and distribution sites at East Midlands, which is why we're going there. One thing I like to do realistic flights. So as close as possible, try and keep those realistic. Fluffy clouds, now I know a song about that. I love that. Look at the aircraft direction compared to the track that we're flying. So we'll be coming in over the southeast of the UK and then tracking northwest up to East Midlands. If anyone's joined us a little bit late, then here's a copy of the flight plan. HD as well, just letting you know, I've gone for broke with the fuel. We've gone for -25. See what happens with our fuel performance factor there. Fact, how are we doing? Oh look, see, that's already gone up. We were estimated fuel on board a while ago at 0.8. So there's below your company reserves. Peter James' planned runway landing is 27, I believe. Yeah, 27. Like and do official. You want to download the game? Simulator, my friend. Simulator. It is Microsoft Flight Simulator. That's all it is called. Leonard, you once had the yellow Toyota twin cab. It used more fuel than the Saturn V rocket. It needs the same engines as this A320 Neo. You'd never have to pay for fuel again. Do you know something? I've topped up my car once in almost the last year. Since March last year I've topped my car up once. That tells you a little bit about how often I'm getting out at the moment. AP, that is true. Mako have released Birmingham today, and we will have a special flight on Tuesday. We've got Marathon Monday coming up on Monday. So with that is the long haul flight on Monday, so don't miss that. That's going to be a nice one. And then on Tuesday we're hopping back in the Easyjet aircraft, and we will be flying on Tuesday back from Iceland, where the aircraft currently resides. We will go from Iceland to Birmingham, and at the same time I think we'll be doing a giveaway as well for that, so that'll be nice. Peter, we're going to fly over your house on final, yeah? Are you in Kegworth or somewhere close? Ferran Gavin, what is the pilot's criteria for using an RNAV or ILS approach? I mean, when do you use one or the other? HC will probably be able to give you a better answer, but realistically, if you've got the choice, you tend to always go with ILS just because it's a precision approach, where RNAV is not. But you are right, there are plenty of airports do have both available. Darth Duck, am I ever planning to do a little North American tour? No, I'm not, but what I'm planning to do is, as part of the long haul mileage Mondays, Marathon Mondays, whatever you want to call them, I am planning on taking the Airbus 320 to Australia. Now, obviously that's not going to be done on one Monday. That is going to be done with 2 or 3 stops, so it'll be probably over 3 or 4 Mondays, and I'm quite looking forward to that, because when we arrive in Sydney, we'll probably go for Sydney, somewhere like that, a big airport to finish with. That will be a fantastic feeling. So once again, guys, obviously we're not using real time. We have had a dawn departure, so the sun is chasing us. Those reflections look good on the wings, don't they? Really nice. They couldn't obviously make the aircraft a full cargo conversion because it's got the windows in. Robert, good morning. You're in Kenya. Hello. Is it morning in Kenya? I thought you were on Zulu time, same as us. It's actually 21:12 Zulu where I am. Oh, that was a silly comment, wasn't it? It's 21:12 Zulu everywhere. What I meant to say is it is 12 minutes past 9 in the evening where I am. That's the one HD, so I daren't crash. That and a load of graphics cards as well. The latest graphics cards to help people actually fly the simulator with high frame rates. Darth Duck, you know what? You're probably right. If I loaded this aircraft to its full, I wonder how far you could fly it for. At the current rate the engines burn fuel. Or don't burn fuel, to be more precise. AP, you're 10:15, is that Central Eastern Time? Oh, Peter, you've set the computer settings as per the tutorial. I was very careful not to call that video a tutorial. I don't want to pretend to people that I actually know what I'm on about when it comes to computers and graphics settings, but yeah, if those settings really help, then that's great. Leonard, that is a great little route that you've got there. Manchester to Dubai, then down to Bangkok, Bali, Durban, Sydney. I was hoping to get Hong Kong in there for some reason. I don't know, I just feel if I'm going to do a sort of a semi around the world delivery flight. It'd just be nice, just from a simulator point of view, to call in at some of the famous airports on the way. Ronald, which part of the engine would you like to see? And I'll grab the drone camera for you. We'll get sucked in. The bird's eye view, but not the normal one that you think of. Oh, Peter, you could definitely do East Midlands to JFK on with this aircraft and its fuel burn at the moment. Oh, Central European. Oh, sorry, AP. If we went to Nagasaki, East Bursley, we may have to do that. That's not really on the route to Australia, is it? That's a slight detour. The bird shredded view. I can give you that. Ronald, is that what you're after? The bird shredded view? Let me have a look. Oh, wrong one. Grab the drone cam. Close that. So which part of the engines would you like to see? Is that what you're after? Ooh, we've got lens flare off the sunlight there. HD, take the polar route. That's not. Could do that, could we? If we did the polar route, then it would be over the tops and then down through Japan. And that way. It is going to take a little bit of planning, that one. I don't know if Kitech is modelled in the sim. I've not looked either. Is the airport even still there? Or they've done away with it now? What fantastic landings they had to do at that airfield. You didn't want to get that one wrong. And then the bird shredded view goes something like this. There you go. Oh, the stream stuttered for a minute then. Don't like it when that happens. That always panics me when something like that happens. There you go, Ronald. Hope that helped you. What were you looking for? Or was it just idle curiosity? Can you guys hear the wind effects as well? I love that. I mean, there's an 80 mile an hour jet stream where we are roughly. Have you noticed as well? Oh, I've lost the aircraft. Where is it? There we go. Have you noticed as well? Do you remember the last test flight we did with this? The Morse code beeping is not there anymore. So they have got rid of that. So that's nice. Leonard, that's not a bad idea. I could use a haircut at the moment. If Kitech's still there, I might have to attempt one of my... the problem is, are the charts for it still knocking about on the internet somewhere? HD, does that actually happen? Well, I suppose pilots get bored now, don't they? Oh, Leonard, I loved Ken Dodd. What a comedian. Oh, is it only over France? Oh, well, say no more. Okay, how far are we away from Oddville? We are 45 miles away, and at Oddville the flight plan suggested a minimum fuel of 2.1 tons. Well, we've smashed that, so I don't think we need to worry too much. Super Night Riders, no, we're not on VATSIM, just because it's a test flight. I would normally fly on VATSIM, but if anything goes wrong with the lines of coding that FlyByWire have removed, I don't want to crash and burn on VATSIM. Alright, so let's get a couple more weathers. Amsterdam and Stansted, I think. Tommy Cooper as well, absolutely. Although I'm too young to have been able to see Tommy Cooper live. Saw Ken Dodd live 2 or 3 times. $300 kilograms to get to Manchester. Yeah, it's a very fuel efficient aircraft. Okay, let's just have a look at the METARs there. So nothing's changed too much at East Midlands for our arrival there. Fuel 600, scattered 900, 8 kilometre visibility. So the alternates, we've got Amsterdam, light winds, clouds fine, no changes. That's a good bet. Yeah, I had just noticed that HD. I've never seen the SAT go that low before. And presumably, we know that these are real. The weathers are actually modelled, and temperatures and winds, etc., are modelled really, really well. So, is there a few pilots currently flying over Europe, sat there wondering? What's Stansted doing? Oh Christ, we're not going there. That doesn't look like fun. I'm guessing HD, if something like this did happen, would we just request descent and check it's warmer? You've got me scrolling through the flight plan now. Yes, so the temperatures, where are we? Yeah, so Oddville, Oddville at 380, it's meant to be minus 66 according to this. Peter James, you've been able to import your Zimbrief flight plan into Navigraph for a long, long time, and that's all I do. So in theory, we could probably drop us down to, I mean, we're on a zone, we can do whatever the heck we want. Let's see what happens when we get to Oddville. That will be interesting to see, because the flight plan's telling us that Oddville should be minus 66. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on it. We're minus 70. Ah, I'm quite glad I've seen that as well, because I've not seen that happen before since upgrading. We've got the out of tank fuel crossfeed message. Let's turn those off. Forgot about those. Before the add-to-tank fuel crossfeed message was appearing, but then as it topped the fuel tanks back up at 750 kilograms, it kept going off. Then it would come back on again as it was used, then going off, and it was flickering on and off. Obviously, what should happen is when the crossfeed valves are open, they remain open then until the end of flight, which means that message should just stay on. It shouldn't be flashing on, off, on, off, and off. So that's quite nice to see that that's been correctly modelled in now. Friend, does Navigraph synchronise your aircraft with the charts? Do you see the icon of your aircraft as you're rolling through the taxiways? Friend, I believe it... I don't know about on the ground, but certainly in the air it is. HD, you may have just spoken a foreign language to me. Where am I looking for that information? Peter, you're right, the way I'm burning fuel, I could get direct to Sydney. I think one of the other streamers has done it. Oh, HD, I thought I'd click that on departure. Well, before departure. Let's get that back on. Well, do you know why FT2 was off, HD? It's because you weren't sat there. See, look, your screens are off. You weren't sat there on departure, so there was no one there to push the button. I turned mine on. It actually, as well, HD, on departure, gave me a rather steady climb attitude on rotation, which I'd not seen before. I didn't think we were particularly heavy either. Whether that was to do with the fact that our speed on departure was a maximum of 210 knots until a certain distance away, I don't know. Could have been something to do with that, but I wouldn't have thought so. Is there shared cockpit? Yes and no. I think there is, but it's still a little bit buggy and doesn't always work. HD. Are you talking on the OFP or the on the ECAM? I would love to do a shared cockpit with HD, but we need to get him a PC. Welsh Dude 84, they did a full flight around the world. In which aircraft? I bet they could do it in this one. Lower ECAM. Oh no, we've not got the third line. Oh yes, I know what you're talking about now. No, there's no third line there. We've just got TAT and SAT, which is actually getting colder. Yeah. Yeah, no, I know what you mean now. The third line's not there. Alright. So I don't know how well the envelope has actually been recreated here in Flight Sim 2020, but I don't really want to pop that to the test. So let's get down to 340. See what happens. In fact, let's just go open descent for that. Fuel temperature. Let's see if we've got a fuel. Where is that? Shows the fuel. Is that modelled yet? Welsh dude, we're on our way to East Midlands Airport. Oh, the SAT's coming down now, so that's okay. Nick, self-loading cargo normally says that we'll be arriving soon. And actually, no, self-loading cargo normally tells us that we've arrived. Usually about 5 minutes after departing. That'll be another thing to add HD onto the list. The list of things to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to serve a selection of alcoholic drinks. Please make sure your tray table is in the down position. And
We actually come down to this cloud base. We're going to have to look, keep an eye on that temperature for the anti-ice. Although it's minus 61, we should be okay. So we're now over the North Sea, not that we can see anything of it. Oh. So still got quite a few miles to go. How far are we away? Track miles wise, I'm just having a look at that. Yeah, I was expecting the enter destination data to be populating about now. Are we in that cloud bank or are we riding it? Oh, we're just riding it, so that's okay. How far we got to go? Let's have a look. 205 miles. Let's just get that latest weather then, and we'll plumb that into the performance page. So the arrival then, we do not have any star planned at the moment. We could pop one in actually, see what happens. We may mess up the flight plan entirely, but no more than it is already messed up. So we're arriving runway 27 ILS. And could we come in by the Daventry, the Hemel 1 Echo? Let's have a look, do that. Put the Hemel 1 Echo in there and via. We've either got a DME 25 or Trent. Let's have a look at DME 25 then, see what happens with that. I know we're not passing Trent. Plan mode, zoom in, see what that approach looks like just now. Oh, right, okay. Can we have a look at getting rid of some of the, oh, what a mess. So what we actually want to do is, oh, why is that in there twice? Okay. Clear EGNX. Why didn't that work? Should we try again? Clear. Oh, I'm going to have to scroll through again. Right. Clear that. Clear. Oh, it's not clearing it. It's not actually doing it. Right, okay, we'll have to... I will have to go direct because it's just doing its usual messy approach. But we know what we're doing, that's the main thing. We know what we're doing. Famous last words. James, Pigot in there, because if Pigot is in there, we want to be 8,000 feet by the time we get to Pigot. No, it's not. So that's just the that's Flight Sim 2020 being Flight Sim 2020. Great low pass of over the M1 before touchdown onto runway 27. Yeah, I've not landed here in the flight simulator since it came out, so I am looking forward to that. Let's hope it's not too low a pass. Yeah, we're not flying British Midland, bless them. Let's get the approach data in. So, do you know what, before I do that, I actually need to get it, don't I? We've got the message, I've just seen that on the eCam. So, the latest weathers to be punched in is that visibility has reduced ever so slightly, but not too much that it's going to cause a panic. 160 at 6, so the wind's quite nice. Variable 120, 180, and -1 degree. Dew point -1 degree. That normally brings fog when those two line up. 1028 is the QNH. Let's also just get the charts for the approach to runway 27. Don't know why I've not actually got those open yet. ILS runway 27. There it is. Transition altitude 6,000 feet. So let's plumb all this in. ILS approach QNH 1028, temperature -1, winds are 160 at 6, and the MDA is 482. And touchdown zone is 282. That makes sense. Born, have you? That's right, DHL is in the cargo airliner. It's a fake aircraft. This aircraft doesn't exist in real life. Not to my knowledge, anyway. So, do we have Hemel in the flight plan? Was that there? Is it there twice? Yes, it is. Do you know what? Can we go direct to Hemel? The second Hemel. We've got it in there twice, look. There we go. Okay, we're going to go direct to Hemel now. And see how that works for us. 82 miles away. There we go. And top of descent will be soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, you may notice we've begun our descent into our destination. We're not expecting any further delays or traffic in front of us for the next few minutes. So, if you will assist the cabin lead by tidying your trays, handle the back, and putting anywhere to fit the bags provided. For safety reasons, please turn off all electronic devices and switch them to airplane mode until we have landed. Please also note that the aircraft toilets will shortly go out of use. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll start descending towards Hemel about 50 miles away from there. Carlos, yep. So you can get the METAR from the McDo now. It's all nicely built in, so that's good. go to the AOC menu, the ATSU and the AOC menu. Hang on a minute. Go to those, ATSU and AOC, and you'll get that. As long as you've got the fly-by-wire mod as well, you need those. DHL, damaged and hopelessly lost. I'll touch wood, anything that they have delivered to me for work purposes has always come through quite nicely. I was just, that fuel flow then was 880, and for some reason, just from a distance, it looked like 000. I was about to get rather concerned. Okay then, so now we've got Hemel, Buzzard, Olney, Welling, and then we seem to have got it again. So actually, I've got another Hemel that I can choose in there, haven't I? So we want to go direct to that Hemel, please, if possible, which should hopefully tidy up the flight computer, if that works. Actually, that didn't seem to make any difference at all, did it? Or did it? Oh, actually, it might have done. Oh, that looks better. That looks much better. Alright, I will take that, and then we're vectoring ourselves in. Harvest Moon, sorry, I did see your question, and to be honest, I have no idea, which is why I didn't want to answer it. I'm afraid I couldn't help you there. Even if it was possible, I would be the last person to ask. I wouldn't have a clue how to join things together like that. So, weather and landing info has been obtained. We've prepared the flight management guidance system. Landing elevation is checked. And the arrival briefing, essentially, we will fly the start, and then once we get to, in fact, if I just go through, if I just zoom in on this, it'll become a little bit easier to explain what we're going to be doing. He says, having lost the flight plan. There we go. So once we've got to Hemel, we can continue northwest towards Buzzard and Olney. And for some reason Hemel is still in again twice, but essentially what we're going to do is we're going to probably fly using the heading bug to go via the DME 25, DME 33 and vector ourselves in for the ILS approach runway 27. The RadNav page needs to be checked at 10935. We can do that now. 10935. That is there. It is a DME for the localizer, so we've got a distance measuring equipment on that. So that's fine. Minimum safe altitude as we approach is 2,500 feet. Missed approach, if anything goes wrong, we climb straight ahead to 3,000 feet or 8.8 miles from the runway, whichever is earlier. And then we make a right turn, of which we would then be directed. Once we've reached 3,000 feet, a right turn. And we would then vector ourselves back in. Anti-ice needs to be on before we start our descent. In fact, looking at that, we can probably put anti-ice on now. And we're going to start that descent down to, initially, down to 220. So, oh, scroll wheel. Down we go. And we've got a nice headwind as well, just to help us on our way. Leonard, it is Friday night. You've had some drinks and therefore not allowed to help landing this aircraft. No problem at all, mate. You sit back and I'll do the rest for you. Airports everywhere, but not one that you can land at. Is that what you're after? Oh, HD, no, I don't want to hear that. Harvest Moon, no problem, my friend. East Midlands, I've just seen the message pop through on my phone for the Discord, so thank you for that. I will be in touch. To everyone, you can get yourself on the Discord server, where help with the A320 and of course Microsoft Flight Sim 20 is there in abundance. So if you've got any questions, then please do get yourself on there. I'll just pop the link in for you. Hang on. So that link will be coming up. And especially if you are one of the donators and contributors to the channel, please do drop me a private message on there. Would love to hear from you. "31 miles away." That is from Hemel, not the airport. If we were 31 miles away and at 30,000 feet, we may have to do some circling. We have also got, when we come into East Midlands, we've got a modded airport as well, so it'll be interesting to see what that's like. So it's not an airport I've flown to before, it's not an Easyjet air base anymore. Did Easyjet used to fly out of there, HD? I know Ryanair has them for years, but I can't remember if they ever have. I would be going back a long time. East Midlands, when's the next community flight plan? Do you know? I'm not sure. We may do one on Sunday. If that is available, it'll be Sunday evening, UK time. And I'll obviously put information on the Discord server for that. So there is a potential that could happen. "21 miles away." Yeah, HD, that's right. Obviously they do go into Birmingham, and that is going to be our Birmingham giveaway flight on Tuesday, as we take our Easyjet aircraft from Keflavik, where we left it the other day, and bring it back to Birmingham with the brand new scenery from Micro Simulations, which is out now. Harvest Moon Thrustmaster, hey, you have the side stick and the throttle still on order. I bet you're not the only ones. HD, that actually sounds like a lot of fun. You don't have any passengers to deal with, and you're literally just actually flying a plane with no tight schedule, I would presume. So you can just get in, land, pick up a brand new aircraft. I say brand new. Brand new to Easyjet, presumably. Did you do barrel rolls? You'd have to make sure you got the full cockpit harness on properly then, wouldn't you? Calvas, you bought it before it was sold out in Portugal. Good man. Oh, this descent profile looks good. We wanted to be at flight level 220 by Hemel, and we're 10 miles away, and we're at just about to pass 230, so that's good. Okay, can we go direct to Welling now, which would be nice, if that works. Direct to Welling, 35 miles away. Let's continue with our descent, shall we? Down to 11,000 feet. As we are vectoring ourselves in here, then we're not really. We needed to be at 8,000 feet by Pigot, and there's only about 20 miles between the two. But we're not going to be flying over Pigot today. There's no pretty view outside of the windows, is there? So as you can see on here, the flight plan's completely messed up. Basically, we will be going, if you look on the VFR map now, we will be going, we're just passing Hemel off to the right, and then once we get to Welling, we will fly heading mode up to the DME 25, DME 33, DME 36, and come into land on runway 27. At least that's the plan. Oh, Calvas, that is absolutely cruel. A diamond bracelet sometimes works. I like how you say sometimes. Okay, speed breakers out. As after Welling, we really want to be slowing down to 220 knots. That is very pink, isn't it? Very, very pink on the navigation display. We'll see what happens. Harvest Moon, try landing with a crosswind using only the keyboard. It's difficult enough with rudder pedals. Oh, we shouldn't need the bird, Peter. I really only use those for if I'm doing RNAVs. And of course, if ATC occasionally tell you to fly track rather than heading, but I don't think I've ever heard that happen on VATSIM. Leonard the chauffeur, does pink mean fog? Actually, it's turbulence, I believe. If that's modelled correctly. It's definitely oversensitive. "15 miles from Welling." So let's get the seatbelt signs turned on. Oh, I've already done that. That's good. I was thinking they've been bouncing around a little bit. Set the standby QNH on here. 1028. There we go. Yeah, I know you never need to touch that 80. It's the portable devices sign, isn't it, on here? You are right. It should have its own. It should have a separate button in the flight deck. Aviation Simmer, good evening. You've joined us at the best time. That means if anything's going to go wrong, this is when it will happen. Alan, I believe the no smoking signs are on there continuously. Oh, look at that ice. You've wrecked my nice yellow aeroplane. No. Oh, what a pain. Oh well, never mind. Actually, that looks less like ice and more like I've just flown through an ash cloud and been sandblasted. HD, you've just beat me. I've just beat you to it. Yeah, that's exactly what that looks like. With that little bit of cloud break outside, you could actually see the aircraft bumping up and down a little bit more throughout this turbulence. Jinx, yeah, that's exactly what we want when we're coming into land. Good evening, Ollie. Paul, that EasyJet livery looks strange. Yes. You see, I don't like doing fly-by-wire test flights in the EasyJet livery, just in case something goes wrong. I'll wreck somebody else's aircraft. No, Peter, they've definitely not sorted out the ice. Leonard, is Iceland volcano erupting again? That can stop for Tuesday. I've got a flight planned. Okay, let's pull the heading bug and fly this manually, so to speak. Platform altitude again is actually quite low if we're picking that up at the 8 mile mark according to the chart, and it's 2,000 feet. Let's crack on with that descent. We'll go down to 3,000. Minimum safe altitude is 2,500 feet, and we've not got any ATC, so HD, you have a face for radio. Harvest Moon, you tried to carefully vehicle, the flight plan was messed up. It was several miles away from the flight plan. Oh, that's not good. "10,000 feet, landing lights on." Seatbelt signs are already on, and we need to prepare the cabin for landing, please. Approach checklist. Minimums are set. MDA 482. Engine mode selector is norm. And of course the electronic flight bag, which I can't wait for that to arrive. Aviation simmer, you might be right. You might be right. Oh, I don't want that. There we go. We've got high pressure over Europe at the moment. Alright, HD, I will give you that one. Peter, the Tuesday flight will be daytime, my friend. Daytime. "7,800 feet. Decel point is ahead of us. So just watch that dropping into approach mode. Approach phase, sorry, not approach mode. Ooh, rain. See that on the windscreen, guys? Adds to the effect a little bit, doesn't it? East Midlands, I will catch up with you later, my friend. See you soon. HD, if you do, that's a good point. If you are coming through, if you're coming through rain such as we've got now, would you still leave your de-icers on? Harvest Moon, you forgot the tax-free. Never mind. Still leave them on. Fair enough. They're probably going to be on most of the way down, I think. Okay, we need to still go down to 220 knots.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to land. Please make sure you are seated with your belts
Approach
fastened
mode,
and your trays
sorry,
and
approach
items
phase has
should-
been activated.
Any items should be safely
So with
stored
that,
and remember to
let's
turn
enter
off
manage
all
mode.
electronic devices until after landing. Thank you.
Airport is about 17 miles away. How's our fuel doing? Oh, look at that. We've got 2 tons still on board. I knew my magic aircraft would be fine. HD, where we are, I think the maximum temperature today was 0 degrees. Aviation Simulator, do I like 737 or Airbus 320? I'm going to let you have a guess at the answer to that question, my friend. I'll give you 3 guesses, but you'll only need 1. Approaching 3,000 feet. And there's the radio altimeter. Ollie, I believe that the auto pitot de-ice off. Hang on a second. You never turn off the pitot de-ice off. Well, the Airbus 320, I believe, has automatic pitot de-icers. We just make sure they're turned on here, which you because the sim's a little bit sensitive with that, and it tends to block them up otherwise. Oh, HD's just confirmed that for me. Do I get to remove ruler moments or not? Or once we've got them, do they stick? Flaps 1.
Cabin crew seats for landing.
What I like about it as well, though, is we haven't been flying through rain constantly. Again, it stopped for a bit and it's just come back a second ago. So that's quite nice. That sounds like a good deal to me, HD. So we'll be turning left to intercept the ILS in about 3 miles time. Harvest Moon 60 -6 there. Where are you? Where are you in the world? What have we got here? We're at +3. It is going to warm up tomorrow, so all this snow that we've got, I'm hoping will start to disappear. I haven't dug the car out. Oh, you're in Copenhagen. Fair enough. So I'm making that left turn now, and we'll turn on the approach mode in a moment. These clouds may be a little thicker than anticipated. Okay, approach mode is on. Lock star. Well, that was perfect timing. Capturing the ILS now. Glide slope blue. Did anybody hear the passengers scream then as we hit a bump of turbulence? That was quite realistic. Glide slope alive. Captain Grease, hello. Thank you for joining us. Flaps 2. 7.5 miles away. So these cloud bases were, according to the METAR, about 600 and 800 feet, but visibility below them was good. Well, about 8 kilometers, so 7 or 8 kilometers. So we should not have any problems with landing. We've not made ground contact yet, though, of course, as you can see. Landing gear down. Set auto brake low for this approach. Flaps 3. Ground spoilers are now armed. Flaps full. And we're 5 miles out. Run the landing checklist. Cabin is secured for landing. Auto thrust speed. Go around altitude 3,000 feet set. Landing gear down, spoilers, signs are on, flaps full. Ecam memo no blue. Which lights, Dan? What lights do you want me to turn on? They're all on. 4 miles. Let's hope that wind drops as well, a little bit lower to the ground. If we've still got a crosswind of 20 odd knots. I can see the landing lights ahead of me, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. 1,000 feet. So we've just got enough to continue. Autopilot off. Keeping an eye on those T-bars as we come in. Let's try and get that centre line a little better, shall we? But the wind is now a full-blown crosswind from the left. Continue.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Reverse. Is that snow that's blowing us away? Oh, not the smoothest landing, but to be fair, with a crosswind and the weather that we had, you don't want the smoothest landing in the world. You just want to get down.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nottingham. The local time is 9:04. Unfortunately, the temperature is currently a very cold 0 degrees Celsius, or 32 Fahrenheit, so if you have a jacket or coat, you might want to put it on before exiting the aircraft. Please remain seated until the aircraft arrives at the gate. You are reminded to keep all electronic devices switched off until you have entered the airport terminal. Thank you for flying with DHL.
Okay, so this is actually probably the worst weather I've... precipitation-wise, this is the worst weather that I've seen on real-world weather. Is anyone currently near East Midlands Airport? Is this the weather you've got? Have you got a bit of sleet and snow coming down? If so, well done, Microsoft. Leonard, why is the weather always 0 degrees? Because we're in England. No, that's not true. It's a bug in the a bug in self-loading cargo. It always suggests that. And I think HD will correct me on this if I am wrong, but we landed with the left hand wheel down first, I believe, which, if we're on that crosswind landing, is more than likely the case. So I'm not going to be too beat up about that. Okay, so let's just clean up the aircraft here. Start that APU. Get rid of those. Landing lights off, runway turn off lights also off, strobe lights off. HD, you've closed your eyes. In that case, have you gone back and rewound yet? What's that saying? Any runway, any landing you can walk away from is a good one. Right, is this taxiway Mike? I believe it will be. It's either Mike or hotel. That's it. We're on Mike. Okay. I was looking for a sign, but I don't have one. Okay, so DHL are actually parked down on the eastern apron. Let's go down there. Why are we not moving anywhere? That's better. Leonard, no, you're right. Dogs, you live on the approach path to 09, so obviously we have come in on we've come in on 27. Tell me, is it sleeting, raining and snowing there? Aviation Simmer, I made it. Ollie, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, my friend, and I'll see you again soon. Matthew, Lily, after watching this, you really need to learn how the ILS works. You couldn't have landed it. Check out my ILS tutorial video, my friend, and it will hopefully help you out. I was wondering there if the weather was going to be worse than the METAR suggested. Matthew, get yourself the mod. Honestly, you will never go back. I guarantee you will never go back. Okay, so that taxiway there is taxiway Sierra. We've got a little while to go here. Now we want to take the taxiway Sierra. We've got Tango, and then we want to take the second right to the DHL parking stands. Dan, your grandpa sounds like a very wise man. So again, this is a modded airport. It's kind of a shame the weather's not better actually, so you could see a little bit more. So here we are, turning into oh, it's actually the DHL cargo area, I think. I have noticed the floor is obviously very wet. It is affecting the steering of the aircraft as well. Don't know how realistic that is, but fair enough. Peter, you live on the 27 approach and it's currently clear skies. Is it really? I have no idea where we're parking here, guys. I've no taxi lines to follow of any sort. Let's have a quick look outside. See if we've can spy spy anywhere that we should be aiming for. Hey, you're right about the rain washing the ice off, though. We seem to be, look at that front wheel, we seem to be aquaplaning. Yeah, I'm actually struggling to turn the aircraft left or right at the minute on the ground. That might need looking at. Let's see if we can head over to those steps over there, shall we? Again though, that may be an Azobo issue. I can't blame Fly-by-Wire for that. Is the side stick very sensitive? Ferran, it all depends on your settings, my friend. You can make it as sensitive or as unsensitive as you wish. Peter, we've definitely not got too much fuel on board this time. I was very careful about that. Let's see if we can get ourselves in here, shall we? Yeah, I'm both struggling to turn and struggling to actually move at the minute, so it's probably something else that's overdone. It's probably done to the same degree as the icing effects. These guys are all waiting for us though. They're going to greet our... is that the marshaller? What's he doing stood there? Can you see him? He's behind the tug, so effectively he wants us to come in at this sort of angle. Well, as long as we're somewhere close. That'll do, marshaller. We can get power there. Parking brakes on. APU. Oh, let's get that running. I didn't get that running. Right, so the actual METAR, if we go online, can someone go online and grab an actual METAR, see how well that is reflected in the real world? Just wait for that APU to come, then I'll shut a few things down. But other than that, I actually quite enjoyed that flight, quite enjoyed the landing. Still don't think there's anything wrong with the coding lines that they've removed. So once again, I would say for Fly-by-Wire, that is a very successful flight. I'm perhaps a little bit more interested in the weather, in the METAR, and how Azobo have done in replicating that. Alright guys, well, it's Friday night, it's B&B time. I hope you've all enjoyed your flight on DHL this evening. Not EasyJet, of course. Thank you very, very much for joining me. It's been fun, as always. So Christian, thank you. Hey HD, yeah, look at that, you can hear an engine starting. That's crazy, isn't it? Oh, that was one of those dull moments the other night. Broken 900 feet. 1017, yes, that was accurate. 150 at 7 knots. I didn't actually check what it was by the time we came in, but it was that was the right direction. So yeah, I will take that. All right, guys. APU started. Let's get those shut down, and we can let our passengers off. Oh, hang on. We're gonna get the logbook. There we go. Okay guys, thanks very much for joining me. As always, it's been great fun having you on board. Thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you to all the donators of the stream. If you are one of the donators of the stream, please do get yourself on the Discord, for which I shall pop a link on there now. And do make yourself known to me, please. It's always great to have you on board, and it's always great to do a flight. I'll look forward to the next one, which we may do a community flight on Sunday. I will announce that on the Discord server if that is the case. If not, we will be back on Monday for a long haul Monday, mileage Monday flight. It'll be a good one, promise. And then on Tuesday we've got a Birmingham Mako Sceneries, the new one, giveaways. We'll take our Easyjet aircraft back from Iceland to Birmingham. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Have a great night. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.